Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to another Be Connected session. I'm with you as always. I'm your host. I'm Emily, and I work at the City of Marion Libraries. Today, we're talking about the perks and pitfalls of buying and selling online. We're going to cover, let's go to the next page. We're going to cover everything from what is online shopping, what is eBay, how to buy things on eBay and sell things as well. And we'll look at PayPal, how it works and why it's so good. I recommend PayPal and so does Be Connected. And we'll stop for questions at the end. I'll cover quite a bit, so there's likely a lot of room for questions, so please don't hold back. And first, let's jump in and have a look at the Be Connected website. And you've got my little friend here again. So Be Connected is a government initiative to get every Australian online and comfortable with their online skills. Has an expansive topic collection ranging from very introductory courses, things like what is a computer, what is a keyboard, how to use a touchscreen, things like that, all the way to what we're doing today, which is buying and selling online. This is an advanced sort of area of the website. It's very easy to use. It's self-paced, and you can sign up to keep track of your progress. I use this website all the time, not just because it's what I use to show people how to get online, but I recommend it to everybody that would like to get some introductory skills. And there's even practice areas. There's so much to have a look at. It's very much similar formula to what I have here, being sort of like PowerPoint format, but then it gets into videos and then some interactive stuff as well. So there's a lot on there. So keep an eye out for Be Connected. Let's get right into it. What is an online shopping website? So it's a place where you can buy things online using any form of smart device. Can be your computer, can be your phone. Anywhere you can buy something online is an online shopping website. You can compare pricing on these websites. You don't have to buy from one place. Something like JB Hi-Fi is kind of an amalgamation of lots of different electronic stores. That's just one I recommend, at least. I love JB Hi-Fi. A bit of a yeah, just like them. You can pay electronically and have the item delivered to your door. That's normally the case. You can do pickup as well, pickup in store, but it's always going to be the case that you're paying electronically. So using a bank account, credit card, debit card, any sort of format like that, or PayPal, as I recommend later on. And you can buy anything online from any website for the most part if they sell things. And many websites that have existing storefronts, something like Maya, David Jones, somewhere you can actually visit. They've also got their store online, so you can buy from home. Some places only exist online, things like eBay, Amazon, Gumtree, Facebook Marketplace, for example. We're going to go into depth about eBay today because you can do, it's sort of the easiest way to buy and sell online. Gumtree you may use more often. It just depends on what you're trying to sell. But eBay is a worldwide marketplace, and I'll talk about that now. Yay, here we go, eBay, online marketplace we can buy and sell with anyone globally. So you can buy something from the USA, from the UK, all across the world and have it delivered to you. Although currently the estimated delivery times are totally out of whack. You never know when you're going to get something, but it'll be delivered in due course. They sell items that may be new or used. If you find for example, a retailer with a physical storefront, they'll also sell through eBay. They often sell just brand new items, but you can get items that are used and sold by individuals. So someone like me, I could sell an old pair of shoes if I really wanted to, if they're in good nick and think they'd get sold. You can just sell something that's been used on eBay as well. Some things like electronics aren't going to be degrading over time as clothes do, for example. So they're going to have a higher value for longer. They're going to retain that. So they may be, they're a good place to sell on eBay. And I'll talk about how to buy and sell in just a bit. And we'll go through a few examples on the actual website so you know how to get comfortable with it if you'd like to sell on eBay. All you have to do to get on there is to create an email where I'm using a password, an email, create an account. And an account for a eBay buyer is the same for an eBay seller. So you don't need to sign up for a secondary account or anything like that. When you're selling, I'll talk about this again in a moment. When you're planning on selling something, it'll just ask, okay, what is your payment method? How do you want to be paid? Where are you going to post things from? Things like that. You give them extra information to become a sort of an authorized seller on eBay, but everyone is technically starting off as a buyer to begin with. So if you'd like to buy something, you just have to sign up, don't have to become a seller. You can search using the search bar as always. Most websites will have a little search bar. That's the magnifying glass, of course. And you can search by a shop or by category, or I'll show you in a bit too. They've got a whole bunch of different, not genres, but by theme as well. There's a lot to see. But there are two ways to buy on eBay that are different than many other places, marketplaces especially. You can buy it now for a fixed price that the owner has specified, the seller, or there's an auction version, which I'll talk about now because it's somewhat complicated, but it sounds exactly as it's described. You bid against other buyers for an item. So let's have a look at auctions. Here we go. When bidding on an item, bidders will have a limited time before the auction closes and someone gets the finalized price. You have usually a week. I've seen a few less than a week, of course, because they've been up for about a week. Sometimes I've seen 10 days. So it's really up to the seller. I don't know if there's a total limit on when an auction can be finished, but I don't think it's more than about 2 weeks maybe. You'll be notified by email if a higher bid has been placed, and you can add an item onto your watch list to keep track of it instead of bidding on it right away. If you bid on something, you'll be automatically notified when someone else has bid higher than you, outbid you. That way you know, oh, I better jump on and bid again. Or you can wait to the last minute, as most people do, and just bid and bid and bid until time runs out, essentially, and hope that it was you that got the last bid. You can doing this by adding it to your watch list, as I've highlighted here. It's sort of just going favorite or keep this in mind, and if any kind of status changes on that item, you'll be notified again. So instead of having to bid on it right away and putting your money or stakes into it, you can watch it, and that way you get the updates without having to bet money. People will do this when they're planning on, not bet, bid money. People will do this when they're thinking, okay, this would be good, but I want to kind of see where this price ends up going and if it's going over my limit or how much I don't want to pay for it. And that way you can then go back in and go, okay, I don't want this actually. It's a less all-in way when bidding, at least. If your offer is the highest when the auction closes, you've won and you get the item. You do have to pay exactly what you've said, so don't go anything over what you're willing to pay, because taking part in the auction, you've entered a legal contract and must pay the amount you've offered. Much like a real auction, if you put your little sign up, it's you that must pay that final amount and you get the item. So let's talk about sellers, and I may actually show you, I'll jump on and show you some examples of sellers in just a moment, and we'll do a quick run through of eBay. eBay uses a rating system to identify reputable sellers, including a feedback score from happy customers or unhappy customers in some cases, as well as star ratings for what people have rated each item they've gotten and the feedback they've given. So this system helps you know which buyers are trustworthy, buyers that can be trusted. Generally, I look for a pretty established storefront, and eBay's got this cool system that lets you know when someone started their eBay account. And we'll look at a few bigger names on there. There are places like David Jones, like larger retailers are on there, but smaller places that only exist online, don't have a storefront, don't have very strong branding necessarily, they can be very successful as well. And these could be people just working out of their basement, they don't have to be huge storefronts. Everything's online, so you don't know what kind of operation they're running. But if it's successful and they have happy customers, it's usually safe to buy from them. But we'll have a look at those in a second. Buyers can also be rated by the sellers. So if you were, rude to them somehow, or if you didn't pay on time, or if you asked too many for too many extra bits or things thrown into a package, they can give you a lower rating, and this can affect how willing sellers are willing to deal with you. So if you stick to the rules, you preserve your eBay reputation. You won't be getting low star ratings from the people that you buy things from. So it works both ways. So it's in everyone's interest to be kind to each other and not break the rules. The rules are all listed in eBay's terms and conditions, and when you become a seller, they're all listed for you. I'll just see if my next page is something I can pause on. Oh, star rating for everybody, don't forget. Okay, then there's why would you sell items on eBay. So let's jump back over to my other screen as we explore Here's Be Connected. Let's go over to eBay, ebay.com.au, easy enough to search on Google. Pretty simple. So what I'm going to do we're going to have a quick look at eBay. Now, for me, eBay is a fairly cluttered website. It's been around for a while and they've not changed it much from their original design. There are a lot of things like scrolling banners and things that are newer. When was eBay founded? I feel like it was probably more than 20 years ago, maybe about 2000s, earlier than 2000. So what I'm looking at cameras. You can see old film cameras that I'm keen on. But what you're looking for in general. So we start off with a lovely big search bar, so you can pop in what you're looking for, but everything you can buy is sorted into categories. So if you have a thing for cars, motorcycles, or sporting goods, you could just jump right in there. But if there's something in particular you want to search for, look for it up here. They've also got some recommended things to check out. So I've been looking at cameras. So if I scroll down further, it will give me some updates on what cameras are out, which is pretty good because things on eBay, when sold by individual sellers, like just small camera shops, not necessarily like a Dick Smith's or something like that, if they're still around. Yeah, they're still around. I'm trying to remember. But a smaller company, smaller group, their items are going to come and go very quickly. They're not going to have a lot of backlogging stock. What am I trying to think of? But something like older cameras that aren't in production anymore, these will come and go very quickly. Generally, if I check back on eBay every few days, I'll see a whole new selection of things that people have put up. These can be anything from people who are cleaning out their shed and they've found something and they want to sell it. It could be that level, or it could be collectors who are actively trying to find pieces to put onto their eBay website that suit their customer base. So I've had a look at a bunch of cameras. So that's what's coming up and I recently viewed. And then I see more recommendations for Canon SLR types. And then they go down even further and they give you gift ideas. And they want you, of course, to buy for Christmas. It's still October, yet Christmas is on everyone's mind. So this is the place to buy. And it lets you scroll through what we're looking at first. So it gives you a lovely picture of the item. It's not even telling me what it is. This is I think it's a wireless charger. I think it may be. But it's just giving me the price, big picture. That's where it's going to start off with. You want this? Click it, find out more. So let's open up this tablet. It's a Samsung Galaxy Tab, and it has all of this extra detail that, makes sense, but it's very cluttered. Look at all this. Oh, there's so much to see. So trying to navigate through this. First, you're going to see a series of images on the left-hand side. They're going to be different angles of the image of the item, so you kind of know what you're going to be getting. The images ideally will be the actual image of the thing you're going to buy. Because I'm buying from someone called All Phones, which is a online seller, more of a company business rather than someone selling out of their shed, for example. They're not going to be selling me this particular model. It'll be the same model. It won't be this particular tablet because they've got so many. But if it's something like, let me scroll back, click back. If it was something like this particular camera, of which there are a limited amount in the world because they were made in the 80s, they don't make them anymore. This camera is this one exactly. And I'm looking at it and I'm looking at all the bits, pieces, and I'm going to be looking for things like flaws, wear and tear, things like that. I can see the viewfinder is filled with dust, which is fine. That happens over time. But they've given me quite a few pretty good images, fairly high res, where I can zoom in. Yeah, I can see quite a lot of detail there. And this is showing me that this is somewhat trustworthy. I go, okay, there's lots of pictures. They're happy to show any bits that are flawed, aren't perfect, and may drop down the price. This is quite good. With lens? Where is this from? Okay, it's from America. Okay, that makes sense. I usually limit my searches just to Australia, just so I don't have to wait so long for something to get shipped. And this is US dollars, of course, so it's even more expensive in Australian dollars. Here we go. Well, that's still pretty good for the body and the lens. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. What we're looking at, first we're going to see the condition. Of course, this is an item that is several decades old, so it's going to be in a used condition. Unless it's wrapped in plastic and in the original packaging, it's got to say used. We've got the time left on how long this will be on sale for. There is an auction going for this, so I can see place bid. There are currently 8 bids. If I click on this, I can see the history of who's bidded. They don't put in the usernames just to keep them anonymous, which I think is fine. Don't need to know exactly who's buying it, but they will tell you the last time someone put a bid. So we had someone at 11 a.m. this morning, yesterday, it's the 21st today, place a bid. And I can kind of get an idea of when someone might place the next bid. And if you tend to place, you may place a bid and get another bid, be outbid right away, of course, because everyone's getting notifications for this item. It just depends how far people are willing to go to buy this. And this is pretty good. I mean, the current price is great. I'd love to buy it at this price, but it's likely just going to go up to more of an appropriate price of about somewhere near $200 for the original body and lens. Very good. Okay, what else can I show you on this? It lets you know the postage and the price of postage. So to post this at its current price of about 107 Australian dollars, it costs another $50 to post. So keep in mind that postage is going to be racking up the price. Oh, pardon me, that's some high-res images. Postage will rack up the price, and the current price you're actually going to pay for it. And there's even an import charge from the US as well. Everything here is laid out quite cleanly, I can see. It's still fairly cluttered, but it's all here, thankfully. They let you know which payment method the seller approves of, wants. PayPal is there, so that's really good. Extra points. Visa, MasterCard, etc. I'm not as impressed by because that's the default. If people are putting PayPal, I'm going, that's trustworthy. And I'll talk about why PayPal is trustworthy in a bit and why seeing it is a sign of good, this is yes. And it lets you know it would be delivered sometime in November with a pretty wide 7 days. Okay, that's not so bad. But yeah, about this time it should be delivered if I were to win the bid, for example. I'm not going to bid on it just because I don't want to. I have one already, honestly. I have one, but it has been playing up, so I've been thinking about getting another one. And they are limited in the world, so I have a fear of scarcity here. Let's go back to the top screen. Let's search for something else. Let's go by category. Say we want shoes. I want sports shoes. You can pick store. So major brands are going to have their own stores already preset on eBay like this. You're not going to find any individual sellers on the front page here. If I scroll down, you'll get some top picks. These are sales that are very popular, things that the editors have selected to choose. They don't say that they're sponsored, but they very well may be a sponsored post. Sponsored being someone has paid extra money to have their listing on the top of the page or on the front page when you do a search. So say we want some athletic shoes, we're going to go running. I'll talk about the shoe later. Why? You'll find out. And say we want this New Balance. Actually, let's start by doing some refining. I think I mentioned refinement before. On this left-hand panel, you'll be able to refine what you'd like down to fewer entries. So I want athletic shoes, that's already selected. I'll do all listings. I prefer buy it now. I don't want to wait for an auction to finish to get these shoes. I'm going to have it on buy it now. What size? Let's do size 8. It's not my shoe size, but that's what I saw. All right, we're seeing a mix of Converse, a mix of runners, some more casual shoes. And I'm going, okay, well, I definitely want them for running. That's more like it. Some very active wear. Those are nice. That price, okay. And say I want them in white. I want to see all the mud stains. Excellent. And then from here, you can go guarantee delivery, and I need it in 3 days. No more, no less, 3 days. And nothing can be delivered in 3 days. Makes sense. It's asking a bit much. And I'm going to select Australia only. I'm always going down to that little tab at the bottom to select Australia only. Okie doke. So there are a whole bunch of people watching these shoes. Do they think the price will go down? This is a buy now situation. So you pay this amount to get these shoes. It's not a bid, and it will tell you how many are available. So all of these are out of stock, but a 7 and 8 are still there, and you can just click buy it now. Now it's going to ask me to sign in. I can check out as a guest, and let's say postage. From here, you'll be telling it, okay, you need to know where it's going to be shipping to, so give it your address as well as your payment method. So Yeah, there we go. And payment. And this does take PayPal, which is always good to see. So if you want to order some shoes, it's as easy as that. As well, you get a nice eBay money back guarantee over here. I should always mention these guarantees that you have listed. So coverage for eligible purchases. Yeah, they must be paid by in the eBay checkout, which is what we've got set up. Cool. Covered for purchases, and they have a help area, help desk. There you go. So if you contact the seller and nothing is resolved within 30 days, you can go to eBay's customer service and they'll get your money back, and then they'll work on the seller to try and figure out what went wrong, what happened. But it sort of it leaves your hands at that point. You don't have to worry about it. So that's just another, I think I mentioned before that eBay has your back with certain things. So that's, in that case, it does. Has long-standing rules and helpful options to help people out when they're trying to work out with the seller why something hasn't been delivered. Because buying online can be scary, and you need all those extra help online, I find, especially if you get tricked into buying something you didn't want. Okie doke. So why sell items on eBay? Why not have a garage sale or something like that? At a garage sale, you get the advantage of being cash in hand. You get the money right away. But the number of buyers will be limited and your pricing will have to be fairly low. People aren't going to be spending too much at a garage sale. They don't expect that. But online, there is more potential for increased pricing and finding the right audience. So people that are actively searching for your product, and they're going to pay a premium because they know how much it's worth, or they understand that it's limited and there's some scarcity there, much like with the Canon cameras I was looking at before, the film cameras. People looking for those kind of understand what the price should be. And when you see a bargain, I go, okay, what's wrong with it? And eBay grants you, this is what I forgot to mention before, they grant sellers and buyers added protections. And they have rules to protect both the buyer and the seller on both ends. And again, it's through that help center and eBay contacting either person for you and also sending you your money back within that 48 hours, so you don't have to worry about it too much. Okie doke. So that's why you sell items. How about how do we sell items? You first need to start off by creating an eBay account. You only need one to buy and sell. So one sign-in will work for a seller and as well as yourself as a buyer. Pricing items, keep in mind what other stores, including eBay, are selling for the item and price yours accordingly. Don't put it too low or too high above the general range. If you're selling something that's fairly rare in good nick, I'd put it at a higher price point, so maybe just a wee bit above the general average pricing, because of course there are other prices that come into it, like shipping costs that need to be added on top, and you don't want to overwhelm people with that $50 delivery fee as mine had for that camera in America. And yeah, just keep in mind what other people are buying for it. People will pay for things differently on eBay. They expect a lower price, expect kind of a bargain, but I also expect a place where I can find things I can't find anywhere else. So those cameras you just don't buy unless you go to specialty camera stores, things like that. eBay is the place I look, at least, to find those rarer things that don't get sold new anymore. When you're preparing your items, take lots of photos. Show the condition of the item, even wear and tear, damage or defects. This will serve as an advertisement for the item. As we saw on the front page before, it just had picture of item and price, and you go, what is that? And you click on it and then you learn more. So having a great picture to start off with is a really good place to start. The better the photo, the higher the chance someone's going to be purchasing it, or at least looking at it and thinking about it. That camera I was looking at in depth because I could see that this person cared about how it looked and made sure that I'd be able to see anything that may be wrong with it. And that way I never would feel like I'd been cheated because I could see everything that the camera was. It's the next best thing to picking up in a store and kind of looking at it. Having great photos works out that way. So that's how to sell your items on eBay. There's a few more steps to this. You must create a listing for the item. Here is the shoe that I'd mentioned before. If you remember, I briefly said that shoe will come up again. First click sell. It's in the top right corner of the website. Don't have to, log into your special account or anything like that. You just have to be on your regular eBay account, and then you can just click sell. Enter a detailed description of your item and use keywords. This is something my sister recommended to me because she had been selling things on eBay before. And using keywords was the way to quickly find customers. If you made your description a bit too vague, if it was an art piece and you said it was abstract art, people aren't going to know exactly what that is. They'll have an idea, but it's not going to look like how they imagine it versus what your actual painting looks like. Put in acrylic paint, blue and gold, beach theme, and that's going to add so much more to what they kind of understand what the image is supposed to be. Of course, that listing is also going to have that lovely picture of your painting right next to it, so they're going to have a good idea anyway. But when looking it up, someone's thinking, I want a beachy photo, I want something for my beach house, I need some more paintings. They'd be searching in beach themed painting, and that way they're going to be getting your painting first as a search. So using keywords, for example, this shoe is a New Balance Fresh Foam Beacon version 2 women's running shoe size 9. So if you were to be looking up women's running shoe size 9, this is also going to get in there. If you want the specific New Balance Beacon version 2, it's going to come up there. And if you want it in a fresh foam color, you could type that in as well. But having as many keywords as you can is very important when people are searching for your item, to get it at the top of the page and an early result, so they don't skim down too far or miss your item. From there, you would select the type of sale and price. eBay will show a recommended starting price for like items. So if you're selling running shoes, they're going to come up with other options for running shoes of the same brand, of the same release year. Shoes get released every year in different seasons, so much like cell phones do actually. And you can choose between auction or buy it now choices. I preferred buy it now because I don't like waiting for an auction, but if you want to sell them for maybe more than they're worth, you can set it at an auction, and you do have to set a starting price, but eBay usually will recommend what they think you should start at and then build up from there. Or you can do buy it now and put it at the market level price that other people are selling it for, maybe a bit cheaper if you really want to get rid of them and get your money quickly. That way they'll sell quite soon. And then you select how you're going to send it. eBay will recommend a standard delivery option, that's Australia Post for us in Australia. And you can also select the option for local pickup if you don't want to post it. If you're only going to be selling within your state, local pickup can work out as well. There are different drop-off boxes you can access. I believe places like Woolies have lockers now where you can get parcels delivered to. So you can pop it in a locker like that and have someone pick it up. Or if you really can't do any other option and feel like a handoff is okay for you, make sure you're always doing it during the day in a public location, and bring a friend or family member, or at least let them know where you are. There have been cases where people meet in car parks and then they run off with the item without paying for it, or they try to take the car itself, things like that. So be very careful. Make sure you know who you're talking with, you know where you're going to be, and make sure other people know as well. So if anything happens, they can investigate, or they'll be able to, come and pick you up when your car's gone missing. I don't recommend local pickup, but it is an option. I'd much rather just post it to the person, even if they have to pay that extra cost of postage. I would be happy to go through that extra step for peace of mind. So that's how to create a listing for the item, getting it up. You then have to select your payment format. So this is you becoming a seller now. eBay is going to go, okay, well, if your item sells, they say if, just in case it never sells. So for your item, we need to ask, how would you like to get paid? PayPal is the safest way to receive payments. I'll talk about how to set up a PayPal in a second and why you should. But you can also just set up a full bank account or a credit card on there as well, or Visa. But I recommend PayPal because, and I'll talk about this in a bit at more length. Yep, a bit more. PayPal is a middleman between sellers, and you don't have to give your details to the seller because PayPal is looking after it. PayPal pays for you on your behalf, and then PayPal deducts the amount that they've paid from your account. So what you're doing, you're paying PayPal, and PayPal is paying the next person. So your money does not touch the seller. Your details don't ever come into contact. It's PayPal, and then PayPal goes, okay, seller. So hopefully that wasn't too complicated. That made sense. So that's the safest way to receive payment. But yeah, you can do bank transfer or cash on delivery if it's an in-person drop-off, for example. Keep in mind there are costs for sellers. eBay will charge a seller a small listing fee and a percentage of any successful sales per item. I believe it's about, you can have 40 items on your storefront before becoming a full business. I think after 40 items, 41 items, for example, there's a different fee involved. and I don't think you have to pay the listing fee, but there's a separate fee instead. So actually putting something up on eBay costs money. So they'll take a portion of the sale, and then there is a percentage of any successful sale. So you putting something on eBay costs a little bit, and then if you sell it, it also costs a bit. So it's not a fully free site. I think Facebook Marketplace might be fully free, but it's a little bit, there are fewer protections, let's say. And I'm not chatting about it today because it's a little bit more, it's still fairly new. eBay's been around for a lot longer, far more established in the online marketplace area. So it's easier to recommend. So keep in mind that eBay will ask for money of what you've sold as a commission, I suppose. And PayPal will also charge the seller a fee if the buyer uses to choose PayPal for the goods. So if you offer PayPal as a payment method, which I recommend because again, it keeps your money safe and their money safe, everyone in between, no accounts are touching essentially. But it will cost you an amount. I don't know what the percentage is currently. There's a 3 in it. That's not helpful. If you look on the PayPal website, you can get all your details explained there. But they will charge a fee for sellers when they make a successful sale using the PayPal option. You may opt to say PayPal as well as bank transfer. That works for me. You'd have to then give your bank details to eBay so that when people click buy now, the money goes to your account. The buyer necessarily won't know your details, but eBay will. So I recommend PayPal in any point. I think that the peace of mind and the safety that you get with PayPal is worth that extra fee, but I don't think it's too much. I'd have to look it up. I don't know. If anyone is interested, pop it in the questions and I'll look it up in a bit at the end. Otherwise, let's keep going. So how PayPal works. Why do I keep recommending PayPal? All you have to do is sign up with an email and password, much like any other website, and you would log in. You would link your bank accounts and cards. Now, you don't have to do everything of this. You can link just a bank account or just a couple cards, couple Visa cards or something like that. And when you're paying for something, you then select when you've logged in properly, when you've clicked PayPal like here, instead of Visa or MasterCard, for example. If you click PayPal, it's going to go, okay, log in, and you log in, or your special passwords. Make sure they're strong passwords. As always, I talk about this quite a bit. Make sure passwords are strong and people can't guess them. Don't let them be dictionary words, meaning don't let them be part of an algorithm that can be sorted through by a computer. There are some programs that can, when trying to break into someone's account, they can go through A, B, B, C, D, E, F, G, all these different words to start off with, and they'll put numbers at the end and they'll try and figure this out. Now, computers can do this very, very quickly, saving lots of time. But if your password isn't necessarily a real word, it's going to take a lot longer for them to break that password if they're really intending on trying. So recommend lots of, everything that is recommended when entering a password: numbers, symbols, letters, capitals, lowercase. More than 8 characters is usually the general rule. So make a very hardy password, especially for anything with your money and your account. Make sure your passwords are difficult to guess. So sign in with this is all very long. Sign in with an email and password, link your bank accounts and cards, or just one or the other. Don't have to do heaps. And then you check out with PayPal when you're checking out. Same thing, you log in with your email and password to get onto it, and then you confirm the payment. And then it sends a confirmation to your email and it says PayPal has paid this. You've paid PayPal for this amount. When I look into my transaction history on my actual bank account app, my banking app, it doesn't say I paid, I sent money to Event Cinemas if I went to the movies. I didn't pay money to Event Cinemas, I paid money to PayPal that then paid on my behalf. So Event Cinemas never got my account details, only PayPal did and sent off the money itself. Yes, that makes sense. Let me know if none of this is catching up and I'll go back through a bit more slowly and concisely, but that's kind of the roundabout of weighing PayPal is good. So why use it? It's good. It allows you to send and receive money online without giving the seller your financial details. Very important. Provides buyer protection, very much like eBay. If you have an issue with a transaction, if you don't get the good that you had purchased or it was in a faulty condition, and if the seller doesn't want to work with you and try and figure it out or pay your money back or give you a new item, then PayPal, you report it to them, say this transaction on this date, and it'll be all digitized so they know exactly which transaction you're referring to. This didn't go through, I'd like my money back. PayPal goes, okay, we'll work on it on our end, and then give you back the money within that 48-hour period. It's very good. I've had this happen to me once before. Someone in a far off country, I forget which country it was necessarily, had bought, it was something like a pair of sunglasses. It was so wild. And I go, that wasn't me. And PayPal goes, no, it wasn't. You were not in this country. Very strange. And they sent me the money back right away. And then that account got closed off, and people, whoever had been using it, wouldn't be able to use it again. So PayPal investigated for me. I didn't have to do all the hard work. So that's the buyer protection I'm talking about. It's very, very good. You can also send money between PayPal accounts. So if you have a friend, as we've got in the corner here, you've paid for pizza and tacos, I think it says, tacos and pizza, you can send the amount to them in order to pay for that. That way you're not talking between bank accounts, you're talking between PayPal accounts, which have all their information encrypted, and you don't know whose account it is necessarily, or just have a username. And you can use credit with a credit card or a bank account. So there's a preference you can choose there if you prefer to have your bank account linked, or your credit card or debit card, or Visa card linked. You can do it that way as well. You can even have I haven't listed it here, but you can input a PayPal balance onto your PayPal account. So instead of it directly taking it from your bank account, you can say, okay, PayPal, I send you $100, and that'll sit on my account in PayPal to use. And that's your PayPal wallet. I believe that's what that's called. PayPal wallet. If you want to look it up, you can find out more. But it's essentially like having a gift card to use, or a limited amount on a debit card that you can use. And it's all safe on PayPal. So that's how you can do it. That's why I recommend PayPal. Now, I don't know if I've covered everything, but we are at the end. There we go. So I'm going to wait for questions now, see if we have any. I did skim through quite a few things. So if you found that I missed something, please let me know, and we'll be right back. Okay, thank you, everybody. Let's finish up. Here we go. So City of Marion Libraries, let's stay connected. So how to stay connected with us, jump onto our Facebook page or City of Marion Libraries Instagram at City of Marion Libraries. If you want to keep up to date with what we've currently got going on, we post there all the time. Facebook, we've got all our events up there as well. So check that out. Check out our What's On page on the City of Marion website. That's everything from all of council area to our libraries as well. And we've always got something on, so check us out there. Subscribe to our Library Loop newsletter if you'd like to receive an email once a month detailing everything we've got going on at the library, things we're excited about, book reviews, upcoming major events, holidays, things like that. They'll be all in that newsletter. The way to subscribe to that is going on to the catalogue search. So if you know where to look up books or find where books may be, that's the place to go. And it's in the left-hand column, halfway down the page on the in one of the little side menus that said sign up to our newsletter, and you can sign up that way. I'm signed up. I wanted to know what we had going on, so I received those emails too. Or visit a branch or call us on 83756755. That is the number for the Coast Civic Centre Library, the Hallett Cove Library. That's where I am. So give us a call and say hello. Otherwise, woohoo! Thank you all so much for joining me again today. We are done with another Be Connected session. So hopefully we've learned a lot about buying and selling online, either added to the confusion or lessened it. Either way, I hope you've had fun today. I certainly have. So I'll see you all next week. And until then, happy learning. Bye.